The plight of truck drivers has been front and center as the nation battles the supply crisis. Part of the problem is a real labor shortage as companies struggle to hire and keep qualified drivers. On top of that, nearly 2 years of COVID has led to dramatically increased drug use across our entire society. This is putting even more pressure on trucking companies to make sure their drivers are safe to be on the road. The screening process required by the DOT focuses on recent drug use. Now, researchers with the Trucking Alliance are challenging the DOT's data and raising the question, is detection of past drug use just as important when it comes to preventing impairment behind the wheel? The Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, which runs the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse, still only accepts the results from urine drug tests. In 2020, more than 50,000 drivers were pulled off the road because their drug test showed marijuana use. Now, drivers who are part of the Trucking Alliance are required to submit to both urine and hair testing. Researchers looked at nearly 600,000 drivers during the same time period as the FMCSA's data and found that the hair testing alerted employers to more than 58,000 additional drivers who had used hard drugs within the last 90 days. The research showed that urine testing and hair testing detected marijuana use at the same rate, but the hair testing showed cocaine was being used 16% more often than marijuana, and opioids were found 14% more often. Many trucking companies require their drivers to pass both urine and hair tests because owners feel it's not good enough to just prove they're not impaired. They want to know their drivers are completely drug-free. We reached out to the FMCSA for a comment on the research, and here's what they had to say. Quote, "The results of the study do not make the results maintained in the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse inaccurate. The clearinghouse is functioning effectively to improve safety on our nation's highways. Nearly 80,000 drivers are currently prohibited from operating commercial motor vehicles based on drug and alcohol violations reported to the clearinghouse." While this research might seem startling, there are questions as to which type of drug screening actually gives you the information needed to keep impaired drivers off the road. Some say hair testing with that 90-day window of detection might actually unfairly ban drivers who only use drugs on their time off, whether illicit or legally prescribed. Sterling Vice President of Occupational Health and Drug Testing, Heather Horn, says, "The research shared in this article, while interesting, doesn't denigrate the importance and efficacy of the urine drug test. It does, however, remind us that there are several tools at employers' disposal. Urine drug testing, long considered the gold standard, is going to give a look back at what behaviors the employee has engaged in over the last few days. Hair testing is going to give a look back ranging from a week to 90 days. And oral fluids testing provides a look back of a few hours to a few days. All of these testing methodologies have their place, and as science continues to evolve, it makes sense for the DOT and the world to look at the options and know that it might not be a one-test-fits-all world anymore. What we are going to start to see is different types of tests applied to different reasons for testing." While the Alliance is pushing for hair testing to finally be accepted as the single testing method for the clearinghouse, trucking companies have been pushing FMCSA for years to accept both oral fluid and hair testing. The agency has been working on testing guidelines for about 6 years, but the process to approve something like this is extensive. The big takeaway here for employers is that drug testing is not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's important to understand exactly what information you want from your testing and how having that data can help your business. Even though the DOT does not accept hair or oral fluid testing for the clearinghouse yet, employers are still free to utilize these tests as part of their company drug testing policies. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here next week.